I was 13 when I first got access to a computer.
My parents bought me a Macintosh in 1984 when I was 8 years old.
I was in 6th grade.
I learned to code in college.
Freshman year, first semester, intro to computer science.
I wrote a program to play tic-tac-toe.
I think it was pretty humble beginnings. I think the first program I wrote asked things like, what's your favorite color? Or how old are you?
I first learned how to make a green circle and a red square appear on the screen.
The first time I actually had something come up and say, hello world, and I made a computer do that. It was just astonishing.
Learning how to program didn't start off as wanting to learn all of computer science or trying to master this discipline or anything like that. It just started off because I wanted to do this one simple thing. I wanted to make something that was fun for myself and my sisters. And I wrote this little program and then basically just add a little bit to it. And then when I needed to learn something new, I looked it up either in a book or on the internet and then added a little bit to it.
It's really not unlike kind of playing an instrument or something, or playing a sport. It starts out being very intimidating, but you kind of get the hang of it over time.
Coding is something that can be learned, and I know it can be intimidating. A lot of things are intimidating, but what isn't?
A lot of the coding that people do is actually fairly simple. It's more about the process of breaking down problems than sort of coming up with complicated algorithms as people traditionally think about it.
You don't have to be a genius to know how to code. You need to be determined.
Addition, subtraction, that's about it.
You should probably know your multiplication tables.
You don't have to be a genius to code. Do you have to be a genius to read?
Even if you want to become a race car driver or play baseball or build a house, all of these things have been turned upside down by software.
What it is, computers are everywhere. You want to work in agriculture? Do you want to work in entertainment? Do you want to work in manufacturing? It's just all over.
Here we are, 2013. We all depend on technology to communicate, to bank, information, and none of us know how to read and write code.
When I was in school, I was in this after-school group called the Whiz Kids. And when people found out, they laughed at me and, all these things. And I'm like, man, I don't care. I think it's cool. And, I'm learning a lot. And some of my friends have jobs.
Our policy is literally to hire as many talented engineers as we can find. The whole limit in the system is just that there just aren't enough people who are trained and have these skills today.
To get the very best people, we try to make the office as awesome as possible.
We have a fantastic chef,
Free food,
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
free laundry,
snacks, even places to play and video games and scooters. There's all these kind of interesting things around the office and places where people can play or relax or go to think or play music or be creative.
Whether you're trying to make a lot of money or whether you just want to change the world, computer programming is an incredibly empowering skill to learn.
I think if someone had told me that software is really about humanity, that it's really about helping people by using computer technology, it would have changed my outlook a lot earlier.
To be able to actually come up with an idea and then see it in your hands and then be able to press a button and have it be in millions of people's hands. I think we're the first generation in the world that's really ever had that kind of experience.
Just to think that, you can start something in your college dorm room and you can have a set of people who haven't built a big company before come together and build something that 1 billion people use as part of their daily lives is just crazy to think about, right? It's humbling and it's amazing.
The programmers of tomorrow are the wizards of the future. You're going to look like you have magic powers compared to everybody else.
I think it's amazing. I think it's the closest thing we have to a superpower.
Great coders are today's rock stars. That's it.
Hello, and welcome to this graduation ceremony for graduates of the Coding for Veterans program. My name is Pat Shaw, one of the co-founders of Coding for Veterans. And along with Jeff Musson, my partner in all of this, I want to express our appreciation and recognition of all of the veterans and active duty service members who are defending our rights and freedoms even as we speak. And to acknowledge the veterans who have joined into this program to learn software development or cybersecurity skills where they will continue to defend those rights and freedoms in a different kind of environment than what they were deployed to or engaged in their Canadian Armed Forces career. So in the agenda today, we're delighted to have Minister Macaulay here to help us recognize the candidates who are receiving their certificates today. And what we also have is one of the candidates not here today because he actually broke his arm and will not be able to attend. So the three candidates will go through the program or have been through the program will receive their certificates as we go through this event. I am delighted that Coding for Veterans has been able to progress through to the stage where you, the candidates, have earned this certificate from the University of Ottawa and have had that opportunity to write a couple of industry certification exams. We'll speak a little bit more about that as we go forward. The first thing I'd like to do is acknowledge and turn it over soon to Anne Chantel, who's the Associate Director of Professional Development at the University of Ottawa. And the University of Ottawa came on as an early partner as we were even considering establishing the Coding for Veterans idea. Some of the students you'll meet today were very early in the conversations. We met with veterans across Canada to learn how they wanted to learn and what was important to them, meaning a career following their learning. And the University of Ottawa could see the possibility through this kind of approach where everything was online, asynchronous, and self-paced with online instructors and mentors supporting the learning each step of the way. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Anne Chantel to bring greetings from the University of Ottawa.
Yes, hello everyone. Minister Macaulay, family and friends, graduates, I'm honored to be with you for this special ceremony. The University of Ottawa Professional Development Institute has embraced a strategic alliance with Coding for Veterans, and we are pleased to have been a part of this initiative from very early in its development, as Pat mentioned. We respect the role that our C4V program students have played to support our security as Canadians. As the leading bilingual university in Canada, it is our privilege to work with C4V to help students nurture the skills they will now use to defend our online presence, privacy, and digital citizenship. From barely 2 years ago, we have stood with the Coding for Veterans team as the industry and academic partnership developed to the point today where over 100 students have been enrolled through PDI. Dear graduates, Alex, David, Nick, and Kendall, you have each devoted over 1,000 hours of study to earn this PDI C4V certificate. I commend you for your commitment and your effort. Congratulations on your accomplishment. Pat?
Thank you, Anne Chantel. Those heartfelt words and very, I'm sure the students will all acknowledge, very, very gracefully accepted, gratefully accepted. Now I have that opportunity to introduce the Minister of Veterans Affairs. And Jeff and I first met Lawrence Macaulay in April 2019. Coding for Veterans was barely more than a startup launch at that point. And the minister was only 6 weeks into his appointment as the Minister of Veterans Affairs. Since that time, Lawrence McCauley has done an amazing job of marshaling the team at VAC as we've seen it from outside organizations seeking to streamline or integrate learning opportunities for veterans and helping veterans access that learning. So, Mr. McCauley, I'll turn it over to you and thank you and your staff for all the great work and support that you've done. And honestly, believe us, this is very significant to the opportunities that lie ahead for the veterans who are graduating here today. Minister.
Thank you very much, Pat. And a lot has changed since I met you and Jeff. In fact, we haven't seen many people since, but it's good to be with you. Good to say hello, and it's great to congratulate the four the graduates today. Even if one had the misfortune of breaking their arm, they're still graduating, and it's a big deal indeed. And Anne Chantal from the university, thank you so much for your inspiring words. It's so important. Today is a big day for our graduates, and to have your friends and family there, that's also important, and I'm so pleased to be part of this. One of the things we talk about at Veterans Affairs is the transition from military life to civilian life, and how important it is to have a plan, and it's certainly obvious you people have a plan. For some, it's a full retirement, but obviously for people like yourselves, it's not that way, and there are new careers, and it's so important. Those who have served the country in uniform, folks like yourselves, have skills any employer around the country would be really pleased to have, and in fact need you very much so. Most importantly, these skills mean that you've got choices when you leave the military. And I can assure you that the four of you have made very good ones, quite obvious, good jobs ahead. Software development and cybersecurity are the center of where our economy is heading. And there's no doubt the four of you will be in the heart of that action. And it'll be some interesting life. And I do want to thank the team at Coding for Veterans for their work, great work, and providing veterans with the skills they need to sort out work with industry, and in fact, to be a great asset to our economy. And for our graduates today, I want to say that Veterans Affairs, we'll always be there to serve you in need. Whether it's a disability benefit, a whole range of a career transition services like the one today or many others, or programs like the education and training benefit that will pay you to go back to school, support is always going to be available and should be. You have served our country proudly, and as you start this new chapter, I close by saying that your next employers are going to be just as lucky to have you as the Canadian Armed Forces were to have you. Congratulations on your certificate. It's a big deal. Take care and best of luck. An honor to be here. Thank you, and back to Pat.
Thank you, Minister McCauley. Very, very much appreciated words of encouragement. I appreciate you taking the time out of a very busy schedule. Despite not being able to travel, I know that you're in meetings pretty much all day. So thank you for that. I'm going to now move on to the introduction of the students and their presentation of their certificates. And I'll start with Alex De Laurentiis, and Alex is in New Brunswick, and was able to take advantage of the entirely online self-directed learning platform, progressed through all of the courses, put in very close, as has been mentioned a few times, nearly 1,000 hours. And so Alex, if you can jump on screen, and I really do appreciate how you've applied to yourself, to your learning, how you dug in and drilled through. Everything is for any student is never just a cakewalk, but congratulations on achieving this milestone. Is there anything that you would like to share as you receive your certificate?
Well, the fantastic opportunity offered by Coding for Veterans to take this, what would normally be a 2 or 4 year program, compress it down into 8 months, give us the opportunity to learn at our own pace, and the plethora of information. And I mean, I'm coming at you right now from a place of work, and I got this job not even like a month and a half after graduating from the program. So it just goes to show you that it works. It's fantastic, and I'm excited to keep on going, to keep learning, and it's amazing.
Thanks, Alex. That is kind of what people sign up for in this kind of role, and it keeps building on the way many of the candidates in this program have learned during their military career, essentially constantly in a learning frame of reference. And congratulations, Alex, on what sounds to be an exciting job in a startup there in New Brunswick. The next up is David Rojas, and David has a really interesting story to tell as well, and he is based in Vancouver. So one of the neat things about David was that he was kind of like a dog with a bone. He just kept moving ahead with a speed that we hadn't seen around online learning, and doing excellent at every step. Actually, did a sidebar trip to get another certification that we weren't even aware of at the time, and now is graduated and fully employed, and is returning to work with us at Coding for Veterans as an instructor in the Cybersecurity Essentials course that we offer to veterans as part of the core curriculum. So, David, congratulations, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Pat, and my greetings again to Mr. McCauley, Associate Director Susie, Jeff, fellow graduates. And yeah, just playing back the last couple of years in my mind, I think one of the strengths of this program, and definitely a contributor to my success, is realizing that you can complete it even during a pandemic, and provided that you know how to ration your time well, which is a skill that any veteran, irrespective of trade, irrespective of element, has learned in earnest. I think we have a bit more of an informed idea of how little we know, and that's a very humbling realization when you're getting your feet wet in a completely new field. And I figure if I'm doing stuff correctly, that feeling will probably never go away, and that's great. I think back even to seeing how my nephews interact with technology, or when I check the news or check my phone, I'm given a constant reminder that our world is only going to become more interconnected with technology, not less. What's more, the level of abstraction that most people have with how that technology actually works is only becoming greater, as is the need to secure it. More than anything, though, my warm thanks go out especially to the mentorship opportunities that I've had through the program with Roger Gale, with Charles McCorkadale, for their skills, and all the other instructors and administrators who made this program possible. Back to you, Pat.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And Roger Gale is a professor at BCIT, and has taken on this mantle as the mentor for our networking academy. David received both the Cyber Ops Associate certification from Cisco while in the program, and has passed the industry standard certification as a Cisco Certified Network Associate. So in addition to the PDI, the Coding for Veterans, University of Ottawa Cybersecurity SOC Admin certificate, he's also received a couple of certifications that employers are looking for these days. And what's just a quick comment that we encourage people to obtain certifications beyond this program, but the CCNA and CISSP certifications are covered within the tuition of the students in this program. And so it's a delight to be able to introduce Nick Holliam, who has achieved both of those CCNA and CISSP exam success in those exams, and is pursuing the full certification of the CISSP. So Nick, welcome. And I just as before I turn it over to you, if you have a few comments, Nick was the very first student into our program and really did help us develop the concepts, because it was Nick's guidance that, hey, I don't want to jump on a plane and spend 2 days away from my family just to get somewhere to be able to do this learning. And in hindsight, Nick, that was a brilliant bit of guidance, because there wasn't very much travel to education institutions in the last year and a half anyhow. But Nick, congratulations. Thank you for all of your efforts and helping us learn along this journey.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Minister McCauley and Associate Director. Thank you, Pat and Jeff, for the opportunity. I had an amazing time. As we talked about 2 years ago, when you guys had said it would be a remote program, it would be self-paced, it would be challenging and rewarding at the same time. Well, I think we hit all those points absolutely on the head. Also, a huge amount of thanks to Roger, to Michael, Charles, and my fellow classmates, where we engaged in a fair amount of banter back and forth. And having virtual classmates and people to bounce ideas off was truly a pleasure, and allowed us to just to collaborate a little bit more, even if we were sitting in our basements studying away. The mentors that we were provided as part of the program, their willingness to patiently answer my questions, explain some of the concepts that I was struggling with, and help me through some of the challenges is truly appreciated. It was a great learning experience, and it was a choose your own adventure right from the start. I was able to build my own learning plan and set some goals along the way, and that was one of the main things I wanted to do. I want to be able to do it from the west coast of Canada, where I live. Traveling back and forth to Ottawa wasn't really in the cards, and the pandemic showed that we could do it remotely. And I think we were probably doing remote work and studying even before the pandemic hit. I know I was anyway. There was definitely some challenges in terms of maintaining work-life, study, preparation balance, and thanks to my wife and kids for patiently waiting for me to finish my studying. There was definitely a little bit of stress and personal satisfaction of passing the course, but also the Cisco Network Associate and the CISSP certification, which I'm not going to lie, there was a few tears in my eyes when I phoned my wife to say that I passed, because it was a huge personal accomplishment to finish that and pass it successfully. The main thing for me was this program taught me that you had to really build a network, stay curious, and be willing to learn and possibly fail at something new again. You know, I guess you can teach an old dog new tricks. And really, thank you for the opportunity and the experience. And I'm lucky enough to be able to work remotely from my home and spend time with my family, which was one of the key metrics for me in making the transition out of the forces and into regular life again. Thank you very much. Over to you, Pat.
Great. Thanks, Nick. Again, heartfelt comments, and it's been wonderful to follow with you along this journey. One of the things that we were proud of was the ability to provide that flexibility, because Nick was also in training for the Invictus Games, which were twice canceled on him, and so our condolences for that, but congratulations for what you've taken on and what you've achieved. The mention of instructors and the delight of having online colleagues to work with. We've been using the Slack channel as classroom settings, and people have been able to engage with instructors and with others in their courses through that kind of mechanism. And so we've had wonderful industry collaboration. Slack actually has given us a professional level access to their platform for our veterans. And so those sorts of things started to happen much more frequently as time moved along. So what I would like to close with, I'm not going to try and extend this just to get to 30 minutes. Some of you joining later in the program may realize that Kendall Hayward was not present, and so he had an unfortunate accident and was not able to get to his computer. But everything's fine, and he will be actively pursuing the job hunt soon. Our congratulations to Kendall for achieving, as he did, the certificate with the University of Ottawa, and we're super proud that you've pulled this off, and look forward to your speedy recovery. In closing, again, Jeff and I want to thank everybody who's supported this initiative, the sponsors who are coming forward, the employers who put their hand up, and the staff at Veterans Affairs, at CAF Transition Services. There's just so many that help make a day like this happen, but especially the staff at PDI who help pull it all together, and the instructors who are literally coast to coast as our students. So congratulations to everyone. And to all those, our thanks for coming out. Our thank you to Minister McCauley. And with that, we look forward to the next opportunity to meet around a graduation event. Dave, that's a wrap from my perspective.